Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you all are doing good. I just came back from a ride and today I had an opportunity to ride the Lectro F6i. In this video I am going to tell you what it feels like to ride, the things that I like about it and the things that I don't. Stay tuned. If you are someone who wants to get into cycling and wants to commute on a bicycle, you've come to the right place. Desmo Swadesi is a channel about just that. Consider subscribing and do not forget to click on the bell icon. Also feel free to browse through our channel for all the different videos that we have done about e-bikes and bicycles. So before we move any further, I'd like to give a shout out to the friend of the channel, Dr. Vinod, who lent me his bike to test. Thanks to him that we have a review of that bike today. Let me quickly run you through the technical specifications of this bike. This is a 6061 aluminum alloy frame. It only comes with one frame size of 18 inch. It has an adjustable and lockable suspension fork in the front with 60 mm of travel and comes with a 27.5 inch or 650B wheel size. And the talking point of this bike is that 11.6 ampere hour 36 volt removable battery, which I will talk about in just a little bit into the video, made it to a 36 volts 250 watt motor. This also comes with a 7-speed Shimano Altius group set. How does it feel to ride? I took a short spin around the area and we also went into some off-road sections. Immediately the first impression is that it doesn't feel any different than all of the other Lectro lineup that I have ridden. It feels exactly the same as far as the motor and the ride quality is concerned, but this has some little bells and whistles which I'm going to talk about now. Because this has these 650B wheels or 27.5 inch wheels, they're slightly smaller than say my Lectro C8, which has 700C wheels. So because of that, the torque is felt much stronger in the sense that it felt like this bike is accelerating pretty fast every time the motor kicked in, which was a great feeling. This bike has those stubby tires. I don't really know what's the width of these tires, but these are pretty supple. We went through some of the off-road sections and it was easily soaking up all the bumps and vibrations, and added to that the suspension with 60 mm travel, which also can be adjusted for preload according to your weight, really made the ride very comfortable. All in all, the handling is pretty great. I was able to maneuver through all the unexpected bumps and stones that came on the way. Talking about the group set, this comes with this 7-speed Shimano Altius group set and has this shifter of a relatively new brand called S-Ride, which was pretty good, no problems, and has a Pro Wheel crankset in the front. So because of these components, when I switched off the motor and started riding it just like a normal bicycle, I did not feel any difference. It was pretty smooth, and then the bicycle kept on moving and there was not much resistance from any components. Even if the battery had to go off, you can still ride it with absolutely no problem. And talking about the battery range, this comes with an 11.8 ampere hour big battery that is very neatly integrated into the down tube, and not just removable, it also has a lock. That whole system is so seamless. From a distance, if you look at this bike, it doesn't really look like an e-bike, and I really appreciate that. This is one of the things that I like about this bike, the design. To add to it, it has this console which looks like any other console from all the other Lectro lineup, but this thing has this RFID locking feature. So it has a sensor. If you bring that sensor close to the console, only then it starts. So which is a great security feature in my opinion. This also has an adjustable stem, so which can move up and down, and you can adjust the angle in return, adjusting the reach to the handlebar for added comfort. So the battery range Lectro claims to be 80 kilometers per charge. When I asked Dr. Vinod about what's the range that he's been getting, because he's been using it extensively for his daily commutes, he said he gets more than 80 kilometers per charge. And another advantage of having a bigger battery is that you will have lesser number of charging cycles. Since you have so much of range, you don't have to really charge it often. Lesser number of battery charge cycles, which also means you don't have to replace this battery anytime soon. I think that is one of the very big advantage of this particular e-bike. Now let's talk about the things that I don't really like about this bike. This only comes in one frame size, that is 18-inch, which is really useless for shorter riders. Case in point, I am 5'6" and this bike was just about right, and if you look at this video, the stem is almost bent all the way up and I was just about to reach the handlebars. I'm sure if I had to ride this any further, I'm sure I would have been uncomfortable. I wish Lectro had come up with more number of frame sizes which could fit riders of different sizes. And second thing that I don't like about this is that side stand design, which is so badly designed that if you have that stand on and if you want to, like in emergency, in traffic or something, if you want to just disengage that stand or engage the stand, the pedals come in the way. I wish that they had come up with a better design for the stand. The third thing that I dislike about this bike is the durability of the rims and the spokes. Dr. Vinod told me that he went into a pothole and two of the spokes broke, which is not really acceptable, especially with those big tires. I think they should do some sort of quality control, not just spokes breaking. He also said that the rim was bent, but luckily he was able to fix that in a local service center. But still, I think durability is a must for e-bikes like this. Now another thing that I don't really like about this bike, probably this dislike is like a thing that I don't like about the entire e-bike scene in India. If you try to Google search about battery availability, say Hero Lectro F6i battery, if you want to buy another one, there is absolutely no information. You are totally dependent on the dealer or totally dependent on the shop where you bought it from. I think Lectro should do something about it, or list it on their website, or put it up for sale online, where if I want to buy a Hero Lectro battery, I should be able to order it online and get it on my doorstep. You can get everything online now, and I think it's high time they start doing this. And the last dislike I have about this bike is the price. This thing costs about 50,000 rupees. For that 50,000 rupees, I don't think this is great value for money. At this cost, at least we should have got a better group set, at least a 21 speed. Or now, you know, if you don't know, this comes with a freewheel design which is outdated. They should have done something about it where you could have a cassette system where you could actually change that 7-speed into 8-speed, and a front derailleur and 3 chain rings in the front would have made this bike much more versatile. You know, if I wouldn't have to depend on that battery range all the time. I could in fact leave that battery at home and probably go on a long ride. I think for this price, this deserves all of those extra features. Now the direct competitors of this bike are it is e-Motorrad EMX. I have seen e-Motorrad EMX in flesh. It looks great, but I cannot really comment on it yet because I have not ridden it. Having ridden the F6i today, I can tell you it is an overall good bike, and if you're okay with spending that much money, I think you should definitely get it. But before we conclude, I asked few questions to Dr. Vinod about his experience with Lectro F6i. Let's listen what he has to say.
The F6i, the design catches your eye. Everywhere, wherever you go, people ask you, what is this bike and how much does this cost, whether you can go like a scooter on this. And well integrated battery is the best part of this bike. And the riding comfort, even without battery, you can easily commute in this bike. So that is the best part about this bike. The things that I don't really like about this bike mainly, there should be some customization options with respect to the person who is riding it, regarding the frame size and some other parts, like designing a better headlight. The tail light needs to be better. And the major drawback of all is the price. Well, the price is high because all the components here are being imported. That is the main problem with Indian manufacturers. The government and manufacturers should team up and bring down the cost by locally manufacturing the parts. Many people in a city like Bangalore, where weather is optimal for this, would get on to the roads using their e-bikes rather than scooters or cars.
Would you recommend people to buy this bike?
Definitely.
Well, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, and again, do not forget to subscribe and click on that bell icon. And I will see you in the next one.